care, we know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Matt Gibbs is here. We're going to talk about cars, and you are welcome to talk about your car, truck, lawnmower, boat. Not so sure. Matt is the owner of Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales. We are consumers of both of those companies as people who need cars repaired and people who at least one time needed to buy a car. So the phone number is 622-9622. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Larry.
I got to show you something. A note. I want you to see what I wrote on this note. Do you see what I wrote?
Yeah.
A sewing rise.
A sewing rise.
Do you know why I wrote that on there?
No.
Okay. Because Robin's car broke down at her church. Well, it just wouldn't start. It didn't break down, but I guess it's the same thing, right? Wouldn't start. So she called me, and I tried to be the hero. And, of course, I couldn't figure out what to do. So I said, well, let's call the tow truck. Okay, so she's calling the tow truck, and the tow truck guy on Robin's phone wants to know what's the address to Sunrise Automotive, because that's where we're going to bring the car to. So I said, well, hold on. I'll go on my phone. And I have this cool thing where it says, okay, Google, and you just talk into it, right? So I say, okay, Google, and it says, Broop, and then you have to say what you want. And I'm thinking, okay, Sunrise is spelled S-O-N. I better just spell it S-O-N. So I say, S-O-N, Rise Automotive. And it comes back, a sewing rise. Like you're sewing your clothing, a sewing rise. And I said, no, Sunrise Automotive. Oh, and it brings up Sunrise Automotive. So don't bother spelling it, because the little lady in the phone, she thinks you're saying a sewing rise when you say S-O-N, not S-U-N.
Ah.
S-O-N. Does that sound like a sewing to you?
No.
A sew-n.
A sew-in.
I guess she knows all dialects. That's got to be some dialect like in the Midwest or something.
Okay.
A sew-n rise. So the other story that came from that experience was this. I know on a scale of 1 to 100, I told you this yesterday, about a 3. I know about 3% of what you need to know to be a mechanic.
Okay.
I'm not saying I know anything, but 3%, it's very small. So when I go to help, there's a guy who comes over to help also. And I'm thinking, thank goodness, somebody who really knows about cars, because I couldn't even figure out how to jump it. It didn't even seem like I was getting a spark. I'm going to have you show me how to use my jumper cables on my new thing I got there.
Okay.
Anyway, this guy comes over. Matt, he knew less than me. I mean, he was like 2%, okay? So what do you do when somebody comes up to you? You're the 100% guy. Philip is the 100% guy. You guys know everything there is to know.
No, we don't, but...
So what would it be, 90%?
Okay.
But you know a lot. And if somebody comes up to you, I'm sure all the time, if you're broken down on the side of the road, somebody stops. And that's good people. They're trying to help, right? So what do? Do you just say, I'm sorry, I'm a mechanic. I know what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You don't walk away?
Well, sometimes, if I'm broke down in my car and someone stops, so I can't walk away from my car. But
okay.
So I'll walk over to, like, if I'm not dressed in my work clothes,
right.
I'm just a regular guy, So I'll walk over there, and if they start talking about all this stuff, I usually just turn around and leave, because I'm not gonna sit there and.
You can tell I almost said a bad word on the radio. you can tell a BSer.
Yeah, I mean, or someone that may not even be BSing. They may just think they know something. We get it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people bring cars to me to have them fixed. when they bring them in, they tell me what to do to fix it. And it's like, oh, well, if you know all this, why didn't you just fix your car?
Okay, so I have another story to tell you. Now, this is not one of my own, but I was listening to the afternoon show. Tom and Buddy were talking. Apparently, Buddy needed a jump. He calls Tom. Tom comes over with the jumper cables, and I don't know if it was Buddy's wife's car, but anyway, that's unimportant. And it was, it wasn't going. So Buddy's wife comes out. She had the owner's manual and said, you have to put the key fob in the little box in order to crank the car. Have you heard of this?
Mm.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I don't know what to put the key fob. Oh, well, I mean, there's a little hole in the dash that you have to insert on some models.
What do you mean a hole in the dash?
There's instead of putting a key in,
Yeah.
you put the fob in the hole and push it. But it shouldn't have been trying to crank without that thing in there.
But they put it in there and it started right away.
That must have been whatever kind of car it was or something.
I never heard of that before. Is like a theft protection? Is that what that's for?
Yeah, it definitely would serve as theft detection, but I mean, a lot of them now, you don't even have to, you just put the key fob in your pocket and you can start them. You don't even have to, you just go ahead and push a button.
I wish I didn't have a key fob. I mean, mine is, I think the battery's dying or something. Thank God. Once it's gone, I'm using the key. The key is so much easier. It's so much more dependable. I'm sitting there sometimes pushing the button. Come on, unlock. I'm thinking, this is so stupid. I have a key. I'm standing right next to the hole.
Give me your key fob, Larry. I'll make it never work again.
You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. So did you look at trucks with two sticks?
I did not look at it yet. No, it's on my desk. It's on my. Did you know he brought the video? Yeah, he did. Well, we can watch it together.
Okay.
Got some popcorn. Yeah. Trucks with two sticks.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Have a good morning.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, it is on my desk. Do you have a DVD player at work at your shop?
Yeah, I have a computer.
I'll come over. Okay, we'll come over and watch it together. I could bring some microwave popcorn or something.
Okay, I got a microwave too.
So we have here the summer car maintenance tips. Want me to tell you what the article says?
Yeah, I like these articles. Sometimes they're really stupid.
It says number 10. The top 10 summer car maintenance tips. Check your tires. Number 10, check your tires.
Okay.
Tire pressure needs to be correct. Underinflated tires bulge outward. Anything else? Use the penny trick to make sure the tread is good. Okay. You agree?
Yeah.
So far, so good? We got 9 more, but we have a phone call. Phone calls take priority.
Yes, absolutely.
Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Oh, I wanted to talk to the operator. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
Okay. The operator. I wonder who the operator is. Okay.
Isn't that the dude on Matrix?
We talked to the operator. You dial 0. Does that not work anymore?
I don't think that was the operator he's trying to get a hold of.
All right. Number 9, change your oil and your oil filter.
Well, you should do that even in the wintertime, too.
All right. Number 8, de-winterize your car.
De-winterize your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of that here in Florida.
So there's no reason for doing that. Let's see. If you haven't driven your car very much during the winter, or if you've had it in storage, then you need to check the fluids, the coolant, the transmission, the differential. What is that? Differential fluid.
The rear end.
The power steering and the brake fluid.
Yeah, or just bring it to Sunrise, get an oil change, and we check all those things.
Clean the undercarriage of the car. Clean the undercarriage.
Yeah, we don't have much salt.
We don't
on our
worry about
roads.
that.
No.
Do you know
Where'd you get this from? Alaska?
No, it's provided to us radio people. Check your hoses and your belts.
Okay.
That's again something I would bring my car to you to do, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Check hoses for cracks, leaks, and loose connections. Hoses should be firm, never soft and malleable. Hoses suffer from a slow deterioration process called electrochemical degradation, or ECD. You heard this?
Yeah.
Okay. I only have a 3. You have 100. Sorry. Okay. What was that? Number 7? Number 6 is change the air filter.
Okay.
You're not impressed with this list.
Well, I mean, the listeners are probably going, really? I mean, I
Really?
would. This is just, number 5. Use common sense when operating a vehicle.
Number 5 is replace your windshield wipers.
Oh, what if you just did them in the late winter, and you don't need them in the summer?
Number 4, check your brakes. So all of these fit into that same category of being dumb, right? Number 3, check your coolant and your radiator. Or as you like to say, radiator.
My radiator.
Number 2, clean your battery.
Yeah. But this is all stuff to do in the summer, right?
Number 1 is maintain your air conditioning. Well, there's so much for that list. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Good morning, Matt.
Hey, Sonny.
Sonny. With all this new technology and everything, I just saw something the other day and read about this self-driving 18-wheelers. In other words, the truck driver just sits there, monitors gauges and whatever. I mean, that seems a stretch to me because, like Larry said, there's nothing like good old common sense, whomsoever. What about the technologies in these cars today, like this backup and these things that put a guideline where your rear wheels are going to track and if you turn, and also the self-parking? This stuff is made by man, so it's not going to last forever. What happens when some of this stuff goes on the fritz? Do they have it unitized so they can be replaced, or is it, get your voltometer out and catch as catch can? I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, typically when they come out with new technology, whether it's electrical technology, mechanical technology, whatever it is, then the manufacturer, like I'll give you, for instance, when I worked for General Motors, and they came out, let's say in 1992, they came, GM dropped the diesels. They were real big in the late 70s, early 80s, and then they kind of just went away from them for a while. Then they came back in 92. And when they came back in 92, that was a completely different configuration of the diesel engine. It wasn't the typical diesel engines that we had worked on in the 70s and 80s. But whenever they come out with stuff like this new technology, they have to come out with the support to be able to fix it. And what happens typically is like when I was working at the GM dealership, you get this box mailed to you and it's all these essential tools and you might not even know what they are. There's just all these different types of tools. And once we get the tools, then they send us to, I used to go to a GM training facility in Jacksonville. And that's where you learned about all the new technology. And one of the things that I've seen with the electronic side of it, especially like airbags, they really try to think of every scenario kind of thing. And one of the things in our industry is like, oh God, don't mess around with that airbag, it could deploy. Well, if you got an airbag to deploy, you really worked hard at it. It's not just going to go off.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
There's so many fail-safes and there's so many things that have to happen in order for that airbag to go off. You're not going to be underneath the dash just working on it. I mean, if it does go off, you did something really stupid. So, they really try their best, and I honestly believe that they really try their best to look at all the different scenarios. Here today, there's a lot of cars with a lot of airbags that are having lots of issues, and it's not so. And the issues with the airbags are not from GM, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, Hyundai, Honda,
Takata or something like that.
Right, it's the manufacturer that's making the products for the manufacturers.
Yeah,
and it's a huge problem, but they're on top of it and they're going to get it fixed. They have to get it fixed.
Yeah. Some of the stories are horrible. Pieces of metal,
right?
Basically killing people. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. Your phone calls are invited. If you want to call Matt, the number is 622-9622. And sometime between now and the end of the show, we'll give you Matt's number over at his garage. And his address is 1800 Northwest 10th Street, which we had to know the other day in order to have the car towed to your place. We didn't even go with the car. The guy just said, I'll take it. You don't need to show up. So, and Robert was nervous. You think he dropped it off? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Rather cloudy Tuesday with a shower or thunderstorm around in the morning. Some heavy thunderstorms in the afternoon that can produce flooding downpours across the area. The high 81 to 85. Remaining mostly cloudy Tuesday night with a shower or thunderstorm, lows 68 to 72. For Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms around, especially in the afternoon. The high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala's Got Talent. The semifinals are over. The finals are coming May 21st at 7 p.m. And they'll be held at the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch on Highway 301 in Sidra. We started with 10 finalists and we're down to the last 5. Tickets are only $10 each, and you can get yours at the WOCA studios. Or call us at 732-8000 and we can give you other locations where tickets are available. Remember, this is to help the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, which in turn helps the many orphans in our area.
Next time you're thinking about beating the train, think again. It takes a typical freight train traveling 50 miles an hour, 1.5 miles to stop. That's nearly 18 football fields. Don't try to beat the train. Florida's roads can be highways or dieways. The choice is yours. A message from Operation Lifesaver.
This message also brought to you by your friends here at WOCA News Talk 1370.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
All right, 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive. Can I tell you this other thing? This is amazing. There are some fads with cars, okay? And you probably see this all the time. Have you ever seen Plastidip? Plastidip? It's plastic paint. It's a plastic-based paint that can be peeled off in one giant sheet if you're unhappy with the result. No, you never heard of that. It's on the car. The other one is Patina Paint Jobs. You may have seen it in the rat rod scene, as it still seems to be going strong. I don't know what it is exactly. Everyone from Great Britain to Australia, kids are grinding off their paint jobs and using various liquids from hydrogen peroxide to beer mixed with salt to achieve instant rust. Oh, it's a rusty look. That's a fad. You see a rusty car, it's not really rusty. It's just the way they want it to look. Then there's something called sticker bombing, which basically they're just covering their cars with stickers. I've seen this. There's at least one car in Ocala with that. And then there's Hella Flush. Have you heard of Hella Flush?
No.
Okay, Hella is a commonly used used in place of the word really or very when describing something. Flush refers to the wheel fitment of a vehicle. This movement is all about sticking the largest wheels possible into a vehicle's wheel wells. The fad now includes lowering the vehicle's suspension to bring the vehicle as close to the ground as possible. Have you heard of this? Mm-hmm. Okay. The Macarena suspension. Have you heard of the Macarena suspension?
What does the Macarena suspension do?
Okay, according to this, the Macarena suspension causes the suspension hydraulics to independently lift the car one wheel at a time, giving it the effect that it's dancing to the song Macarena.
Mm-hmm. I've never really heard it dance. I've never seen one dance to a song, but
so you see a car drive? Do they drive or do they do this at the stoplight?
So they could be going at a lower speed and do it, but most of the time they're stationary.
So do you ever have somebody coming to your garage saying, "Hey, can you install this?" and you realize it's a fad?
Well, yeah,
lights under the car, purple lights, and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Yep. We've made some cars jump up and down before.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
Can you make my car do the Macarena dance?
I can if you want to spend the money.
How much would it cost?
It depends on what kind of system you put in, but probably in the neighborhood about $4,000 or $5,000. We can make that sucker bounce all the way down, all the way home.
I don't know what that was. Good morning. You're on the air. I pushed the wrong button. Sorry.
Morning, guys.
Hey.
My brother-in-law's car up in Wisconsin, which is about a 1970-something, jumps up and down whether you like it or not.
That doesn't do the Macarena?
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but it's really a thrill riding in it. I mean, like, it might be your last ride.
That's how I felt when I was with Matt that time.
I was in Walmart the other day going through the auto department, and what caught my eye was Mobil 1 oil, and it was a 040 weight European blend oil. What's the deal on that?
I have no idea. They'll make any, people look at that and think, I just got to have that. I got to put that in my car. And they'll spend the money and put it in their car.
I had a friend tell me that turbo engines like a heavier weight oil. Is there any truth to that?
What kind of engines like a heavyweight oil?
Turbo charge?
Turbocharged, not necessarily a heavier weight oil, but there are oils that are manufactured for turbo cars. And it's very, very important that if you have a turbo car to maintain and keep your oil changed and keep it clean.
You'd probably use synthetic oil, right?
Yeah, I would definitely, see them going back to the manufacturer, what kind of car it is. I would do a little bit of research on it, and I definitely would put the best oil in it I can.
Yeah. So the 040 European blend is kind of anybody guesses what it is, really, huh?
Well, I mean, it is what it is, but when
I turned the bottle or the jug around, it named special foreign cars models that it was used in, but that's all it said about it was just to be used in those cars.
Right, and that's what it sounds like to me. It's something that has been manufactured for a particular year, make, model of car, and now it's available through Mobil 1.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. That could be the new line to a joke.
What's that?
When he first got on the line, he said, "I was walking through Walmart."
Right.
What a perfect setup for a joke right there.
I heard a joke in that too. Let's see if you like it, okay? There's a guy sitting at the doctor's office waiting for the results, okay? And the doctor leaves the room for a second, and the guy brings in some European oil. And he feels it in his finger, says, "Oh, it has a little bit more viscosity." Oh, excellent. So he goes back into the room where the patient is waiting, and he goes, Now the patient can't wait to find out what's wrong. He says, "What is it, doc?" He says, "European oil." He says, "Oh, no." I heard a joke in that too. I can't even hear myself over here. Oh, there's that suspension. There's that suspension going on. European oil. No wonder it's hurting so bad.
Well, that song brings back some memories.
Does it really? Did you do the song? Did you do the dance?
No. I remember my daughter had brought home a bunch of friends from school, and they were.
Oh, and they all did it?
They were all doing it, yeah. I had one of my technicians that used to work for me. If that song came on the radio, he stopped doing whatever he was doing and stood out in the middle of the shop and did the dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was quite funny, too.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? That song? Seems like yesterday. So one thing we had to know in order to have the Robbins car towed to your place was your address. So this is a good time to tell everybody what your address is.
My address is 1800 Northwest 10th Street.
Right, and if you're putting in Sunrise, make sure you spell it S-O-N.
Right.
And if you're just saying it, because you got one of those phones, just say it, Sunrise. It'll find it. You don't have to spell it. It'll come up as Sewing Rise or something. Sewing Rise. Where's your music? There's your music. All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Larry.
Are you going to repeat the joke when you get back? Are you going to tell Philip the joke?
I think I probably will.
Okay.
I think I'm going to start it off. There's two guys walking through Walmart.
All right, we'll be right back.
We'll treat you right.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Lawmakers are voting today on how much money to put toward the fight against the Zika epidemic.
A $1.1 billion funding package has the greatest chance